She claimed my turtle was dangerous animal control, burst out laughing. You ever hear a grown woman scream like she's being chased by a bear, only to find out it was because a turtle blinked at her? Yeah, that happened. My name's Lily Tran, 34, graphic designer, moved into Sycamore Ridge about 6 months ago after getting burned out in the city. I wanted quiet, a backyard, maybe some tomatoes and a little space to breathe. What I didn't want was a neighborhood tyrant with a badge made on Canva, a clipboard, and a vendetta against reptiles. Enter Karen Barnes, self-appointed president of the Sycamore Ridge Community Harmony League. Not a real HOA, by the way, just a group she created on Facebook and printed off bylaws for. Everyone knew her. Blonde bob, floral blouse, always clutching a mug that said, "Neener Neighborhood Queen." She barked at kids riding bikes without reflectors, and once chased a guy 3 houses down for using a charcoal grill on a Thursday. But I stayed under the radar until I let Franklin roam the yard. Franklin's my pet. A 14-year-old sulcata tortoise. He's about the size of a large dinner plate and moves slower than most Wi-Fi in rural towns. I rescued him when I was in college, and he's been with me through everything: bad breakups, apartment floods, freelance droughts. I built him a little outdoor pen in the backyard with a low picket fence, a water dish, and some shade. Every now and then, when the weather's good, I let him roam the lawn. That was apparently my crime. One Saturday morning, I was weeding near the driveway while Franklin lumbered across the front yard toward a patch of dandelions. That's when I heard it, a shriek, followed by, "An aggressive animal is on the loose." Karen was standing on the sidewalk, hand on chest like she'd seen a ghost. "What is that?" she shouted. "Is that a snapping turtle?" I stood up, dumbfounded. "That's Franklin. He eats lettuce." Karen backed away like he might explode. "That's an exotic breed they're known to charge. It's a threat to community safety. He's literally walking 1 inch every 10 seconds. I'm reporting this to animal control and the HOA. You'll be cited." She turned and marched away before I could say another word. 10 minutes later, she came back with a printed notice of violation and a laminated flyer that read, "HOA Wildlife Violation. Aggressive reptile presence. Homeowner Lily Tran fine. $145. Action required removal of said creature within 48 hours. Stapled. Laminated. Delivered with the fury of a woman who once ticketed a dog for barking too enthusiastically." I laughed. I really did. Then I called animal control, and 2 hours later, they showed up and laughed harder than I did. The truck rolled up around noon, white with blue decals and county animal services across the side. A young guy with a ball cap stepped out, holding a tablet and looking mildly curious, like he was expecting to chase a raccoon out of a crawl space. "You Lily Tran?" he asked. "Yep." I pointed to my lawn. "Meet the menace." Franklin was lounging under the hydrangeas, chewing on a strawberry like it owed him money. The guy squinted. "That the aggressive animal?" "That's the turtle Karen Barnes reported. Said he charged her." The officer blinked, then bent down. "Hey, buddy." Franklin turned his head about 1/2 inch, didn't even blink. The officer stood back up, trying not to laugh. "I've seen chihuahuas more intimidating than this guy." "What's his name, Franklin?" "He got a permit to practice martial arts." I grinned. "Not yet, but we're thinking jujitsu." He chuckled, opened his tablet, and started tapping. "Mind if I take a picture for the report? My boss won't believe this unless I show proof." I shrugged. "Go ahead." He snapped a shot, then took a selfie with Franklin. And just as he was wrapping up the report, here came Karen, arms swinging, HOA vest on, and a folder so thick it could stop bullets. "I demand that reptile be removed." She barked. The officer didn't even flinch. "Ma'am, your complaint has been investigated. Franklin here poses zero threat to public safety." Karen's eyes narrowed. "You didn't see what I saw. He lunged. He's a tortoise. The only thing he lunges at is watermelon? This is unacceptable," she shrieked. "What about the bylaws?" The officer looked at me, Then back at her. You mean the HOA regulations? Yes. Section 5.4 prohibited wildlife. The officer raised his eyebrows. Funny, because I checked with the county HOA registration this morning, and Sycamore Ridge doesn't have a registered HOA. Karen paled. Excuse me, nothing on file. Not since 2011 when the original HOA dissolved. What you have is, what did the clerk call it? He flipped through his notes. Ah, right. A socially coordinated neighborhood group without legal jurisdiction? I tried not to grin. Karen's mouth flapped open, then shut again. We enforce order, she said weakly. Without us, there'd be chaos. The officer handed me the report summary. No violations. Franklin's good to go. Oh, and you can ignore the fake citation. Ma'am, it's not enforceable. Feel free to frame it, though. It's creative. Then he climbed back into his truck and drove off. Karen just stood there, stunned. For a full 30 seconds, it was silent. Then she hissed. You don't belong here. People like you ruin neighborhoods. And that flipped a switch. I stepped forward. Say that again. Louder. She backed up. I didn't mean, yes, you did. You meant exactly that. Phones came out. My neighbor Ray, who just walked over with his morning coffee, said, Karen, you realize we're filming, right? She turned, saw the cameras, and bolted. But I wasn't done, because I was starting to wonder what else Karen Barnes had printed, mailed, or threatened her way into. And I had time, internet access, and a turtle that just got more famous than any of us expected. The clip of animal control laughing at Karen's complaint went viral faster than I expected. Jess, the high schooler across the street, posted it on TikTok with the caption, Karen called the cops on a turtle. Your Honor Franklin, the menace d'empêcher show fraud. By the next morning, it had 600,000 views. Comments rolled in nonstop. Franklin for president. She really said aggressive reptile, ma'am. He's a garden ornament. Why are fake HOAs more dangerous than real turtles? But for me, the real revelation didn't come from the comments. It came from my inbox. Emails. Dozens. From neighbors all over Sycamore Ridge. Each one started the same "Hi, Lily. I don't know if this is relevant, but Karen fined me once too." One couple said she charged them $85 for unauthorized shade cloth on their patio. A young dad paid a $120 noise penalty for letting his toddler play a xylophone on the porch. A retiree, Mr. Evans, said Karen fined him for unapproved flag colors on Veterans Day. None of it was legal. All of it looked official. She'd been running a fake HOA racket right under everyone's nose. I created a shared drive folder and asked folks to upload any fake letters, fines, or compliance warnings they had from Karen. Within 48 hours, I had over 60 files. The documents followed a pattern: same font, Georgia bold; same logo, a generic tree icon stolen from Google Images; same sign-off K, Barnes, Compliance Director, Sycamore Ridge Community Harmony League. And every single one listed a compliance fee payable to SRCHL General Fund, which, when traced, linked to a Venmo account under the name K Barn Wonders. That was fraud, plain and simple. So I called Serena Cho again. You know, she said on the phone, I've investigated financial HOA fraud, contractor kickbacks, even embezzlement. But this is the first time someone's weaponized turtle trauma as the tipping point. I aimed a surprise. I said, she drove in the next day. We spread the documents out on my dining table. She examined them, scribbled notes, and started connecting names. There were patterns: people of color fined more often, young families targeted, elderly residents bullied. Serena looked up. She's built a shadow HOA just enough to scare people, but not enough to trigger official attention. She's even got HOA-style warning signs posted on lampposts. I added. Nobody questioned it because she did it slowly. Serena nodded. Classic playbook. You don't take power, you make people believe you already have it. We made a plan. Step 1, get the city on board. Serena contacted the county clerk, who confirmed what animal control already told us Sycamore Ridge had no active HOA. Step 2, alert the neighborhood. I printed flyers and taped them to mailboxes, park benches, even the stop sign Karen loved to hide behind. Notice no active HOA in Sycamore Ridge. Any fines, citations, or compliance warnings issued under the Community Harmony League are fraudulent. Contact the County Fraud Task Force at XXX for assistance. And remember, Franklin is not dangerous, just hungry. Step 3, draw Karen out. That Saturday, we hosted Franklin Fest in the park. There were turtle cupcakes, turtle t-shirts, a turtle-shaped bounce house, and a tiny parade led by Franklin in a wagon with a little flag that said, "I survived Karen." The turnout was massive. Even the mayor stopped by for a photo with Franklin. And sure enough, Karen showed up, face red, clipboard clutched, marching toward the gazebo like she was storming a castle. "This is unauthorized," she shouted. "This gathering was not approved by the community board." Ray from next door called out, "There is no board." "Karen," she ignored him. "Walk straight to me. You've poisoned this neighborhood with chaos." "No," I said. "I just pulled the curtain back." Serena stepped out from the crowd. "Karen Barnes, you are under investigation for fraud, impersonation of municipal authority, and targeted harassment." Karen turned pale. "You don't understand. I was maintaining standards." Serena pulled a folded sheet from her purse and handed it to her. It was a subpoena. Karen looked around. Cameras, phones, a crowd that once feared her, now staring in open judgment. She tried to run, but Franklin was blocking the sidewalk, so she tripped over a turtle. Karen didn't faceplant, but she stumbled enough to make it symbolic. She caught herself on a decorative rock, muttering curses under her breath as the crowd froze. Nobody laughed. Not out loud, anyway. Serena calmly stepped forward, clipboard in hand. "Miss Barnes, I strongly advise you to remain on site. Investigators from the state auditor's office are en route, and you've already been served a legal subpoena." Karen tried to wave her off. "I am the recognized enforcement officer of this community. You don't have the jurisdiction." "We absolutely do," Serena cut in, flipping her badge. "You are not registered with any homeowners association. The group you claim to lead is neither recognized nor authorized under county, city, or state law. You've issued over 120 fake citations, you've collected more than $15,000 in fraudulent fees, and you've targeted individuals disproportionately based on ethnicity and income." Gasps rippled through the crowd. I didn't say anything. I didn't have to. The community was doing that for me now. "I paid her $60 for planting mint," someone shouted. "She made my daughter cry over a sidewalk chalk drawing. She said my grandma's walker was a tripping hazard." The murmurs turned to shouts. Angry, fed-up voices. Voices that had once been quiet because of laminated warnings and fear of retaliation. Karen spun around, cornered. "I was keeping things in order. I was maintaining values. You people don't understand what happens when there's no structure." Serena didn't flinch. "We understand exactly what happens when someone uses fake structure to exploit their neighbors." And then, from behind the gazebo, came two plainclothes officers from the County Financial Crimes Division. They didn't handcuff her, not yet, but they took her gently by the arms. "Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us," one said. Karen stiffened. "You're making a huge mistake." No one responded. As she was walked out of the park, a little girl, maybe 6 or 7, tugged on my sleeve. "Is the turtle okay?" I looked down at Franklin, now comfortably munching clover with complete indifference to the world's drama. "Yeah," I smiled. "He's always been okay." Over the next few weeks, it all unraveled. The media picked up the story, local, then regional. Woman ran fake HOA, fined neighbors for having turtles and flags. Karen Barnes, the HOA that never was, tortoise outsmarts. Tyrant community rallies after fake citations. Scandal turns out Karen had done this before. In Colorado, under a different name, Serena's team found records of similar fraudulent citations from a neighborhood appearance guild in a suburban community near Denver. She'd simply packed up and moved on each time she was exposed. This time, though, it stuck. Criminal charges were filed: fraud, impersonation, elder abuse, hate-based targeting. But more importantly, the neighborhood changed. We started holding real meetings, not to control each other, but to support each other. We built a volunteer board with no power to fine, only to help coordinate mowing days, food drives, even turtle adoptions. Yes, Franklin got a girlfriend. We named her Harriet. I kept my front yard open. Kids came to visit Franklin. People donated succulents to the turtle pen. Jess started a YouTube channel, Franklin the Peaceful. It went viral in less than a month. The fear that used to hang over Sycamore Ridge, disguised as order, vanished. And in its place, something rare, something real. Then one day, Mrs. Gomez, who Karen once fined for disruptive wind chimes, brought me a plate of cookies and sat on my porch swing. "You know what the best part is?" she asked, watching Franklin wander across the lawn. "What's that?" She tried to make us feel small, like we didn't have a voice, like she was the law. I nodded. "And all it took," she said, eyes twinkling, "was a turtle with a slow walk and a solid fan base to shut her down." We both laughed. 3 months after Karen's arrest, Sycamore Ridge looked different. And I don't mean just the curb appeal. There was something in the air, a softness, like the whole neighborhood had exhaled after holding its breath for too long. The fake warnings were gone. The fear was gone. And in its place were porch lights left on past 9 p.m. Kids laughing too loud on their scooters. Neighbors waving instead of peeking through blinds. Franklin, of course, was living his best life. We built him a new pen, expanded it 3 times, added a tiny wooden bridge, a ramp, and a hand-painted sign, Franklin's Free Range. No fines, no fear. We even held a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Mayor Callahan came, cut the ribbon, and declared April 15th as Tortoise Freedom Day in our county. No one had the heart to tell her Franklin slept through the whole thing. As for Karen, she pleaded no contest to multiple charges: fraud, impersonation, and unlawful solicitation of funds. Her sentence included restitution payments to residents, 200 hours of community service, and mandatory counseling. But the real punishment: she lost her audience. There would be no more clipboards, no more made-up codes, no more trembling neighbors afraid of laminated nonsense. When she left town, no one said goodbye. But we didn't stop at celebrating her downfall. We did something bigger. We created something new. Serena helped us launch the Community Awareness Project, a statewide initiative to help neighborhoods recognize and reject fake authority. We made posters, ran workshops, hosted school events. Real power protects, fake power controls. Know your rights, know your HOA. Tortoises are not criminals. That one was Franklin branded. Jess printed stickers. Darnell ran a podcast. Even old Mr. Evans started handing out pamphlets at the farmer's market like a vigilante grandpa. And me, I spoke at 2 housing conferences and a community summit. Every time, I started with the same line: Karen didn't fail because she was loud. She failed because we stopped being quiet. Then one day I got a letter, handwritten, no return address, just a turtle sticker sealing the back. I opened it carefully. It read, "You don't know me, but someone tried the same thing in my neighborhood. Your story gave us courage." We stood up. We fought back. Turns out, truth travels faster than fear. "Give Franklin a strawberry for me. A friend in Fresno." I read it twice, heart full, because that was it. Right there. The point. Karen reported my aggressive turtle because she needed something to control. She thought fear would keep us quiet. She thought fake power was enough to bend a neighborhood. But we didn't bend. We stood. For our pets. For our kids. For the right to draw with sidewalk chalk and grow mint and hang flags and let tortoises roam free. So now it's your turn. Have you ever seen someone abuse fake power, ever stayed quiet when you should have spoken up? Tell your story below. Let's shine a light together.